Hey, what's going on, DDO players? Axel here. So, DDO's new event, called the Night Revels, which is the new Maybar replacement event, is introducing a new design in terms of how players are rewarded for running the event. And it's something that a lot of people are talking about. I'll go ahead and just give a brief summary of what the event is for you guys who aren't aware of it. This event is located in the Delira's graveyard in House J, just like the prior Maybar event. And what you do in this event is you go to the graveyard, you kill mobs in the graveyard, mostly undead mobs, and for killing mobs you can collect ingredients and keys. These keys that you collect from killing the mobs in the graveyard allow you to access and run 4 Halloween versions of old quests. What the developers have done is taken some harbor quests, I believe one is a Sharn Syndicate quest, and they're all pretty short. They've taken these quests and they've kind of made Halloween versions of them, replaced the mobs with undead, made some cosmetic Halloween themed decorations in these quests. And when you get your keys from the graveyard, you run these quests and you collect ingredients from completing these quests. And each of these quests has a unique ingredient as an end reward, and different combinations of these ingredients can be turned in for prizes. There's also an ingredient that you get from killing stuff in the Slayer area in addition to the keys. So bottom line is you collect these ingredients from these quests from the graveyard and you turn them in to receive your prizes. And this is similar to how Maybar ran, how Crystal Cove runs, how a lot of events have been running, but there's a couple of differences, a couple new things we've never seen before in DDO as far as events are concerned. And it's different when it comes down to the loot and how it's rewarded. In the past, all event rewards have been permanent, but not for this event. The event ingredients that you collect from the quest, you collect from the graveyard, including the keys, and some, now not all, but some of the turn-in rewards will disappear after a month or two, so they're only going to be temporary things that you'll have. After a few months, and the developers have not given us a specific date yet, these ingredients will disappear, and some of your rewards will disappear, although not all of them. There's still most of the rewards that you get from turning ingredients in are still permanent rewards. It's just a few of them. And before you activate your Nerd Rage, the rewards that do disappear have purposely been made very cheap so that the grind for them is not long, so that it won't take long to acquire them. They're not going to require a long grind for rewards that disappear after a few months. That would be stupid. And the developers have their reasons for doing this, and there is a recent quote by Cordovan, the community manager, on as to why they're doing this, and I'll read it to you. This is what Cordovan had to say. There are several reasons why we are trying out this method for event ingredients. One is to encourage people interested in getting items from the event to return to the graveyard in future years rather than stockpile ingredients in large enough amounts that future returns of the event amount to a trip to the trader. Another is to address the unfortunate issue of event ingredient duplication should that be advertently possible in the future. This is one of the reasons why we are unable to reuse the Maybar ingredients in any fashion. A third is to encourage people to buy items and consumables when they get enough ingredients to do so. We did want to make sure people with limited time could still participate and get something from the event, which is why the ingredient cost for the consumables and limited duration items is quite low. Now, I don't agree completely with the developers' approach, but I agree with a lot of it. They're attempting to solve some long-standing issues with events. The biggest one in my mind that they're attempting to solve is the problems with players not being interested in an event because they got everything from it in prior years. And bottom line is I think ideally we would like to see event loot updated every year, but that's just not going to happen. I think that takes time, and the developers are already short-staffed and they've got other priorities to deal with. So that's not really an option. They also don't want to have to build in new power into the game permanently with every single event. And the other big issue, as Cordovan mentioned in his quote, is duping. The ingredients and rewards that are going away, that protects the game in case something goes wrong. If duping were to happen, it doesn't matter for this event because the ingredients are going away anyway. So this method of wiping the slate clean, as you can say, every year serves to blanket the developers from having to deal with duplication should it happen. So what do I think? I think that the candies going away is fine, and the candies are the very cheap rewards that you get that do go away. And a lot of these, you can go to the DDO wiki actually if you want to see what the specific rewards are, but a lot of these are clickies. They're more or less clickies. They are temporary boosts in power. I think they share cooldowns. And the grind is really short, and that makes them going away okay. And like I want to emphasize here, not all the rewards are going away. Only the candies are the only rewards going away. There are a lot of permanent rewards that will not go away. It's just a very small section of the rewards that are going away. The real disagreement I have is with the team deleting the ingredients. That's the thing that's going away that I think people are going to be more upset about, and it's something I disagree with them on. It's really the only thing I disagree with them on in terms of the design of this event. I'm fine with the cheap rewards going away, but I'm not okay with ingredients that you've worked towards in this event going away, including keys. Problem is, people like to feel like they're making progress in an MMO. Sometimes it's not always about whether you get there or not. It's just about the progression, and people have fun or feel satisfied just knowing they're progressing towards a goal. It doesn't matter necessarily if they meet that goal. And I think that the ingredients going away is going to take away from that. Because for people who finish short of crafting their item, having all the progress taken away really hurts. And ironically, while I think the team is doing this to incentivize people to return, I think it will actually do the opposite for a good portion of the player base. We have our more everyday players, our serious players who play, I don't want to, serious is not a good word, but kind of your everyday type players. These players are going to craft and get the rewards they want. They're going to finish their items. And because of that, the ingredients going away is not going to affect them. They're not going to care. It's going to have no effect on them because they're going to grind exactly as much as they need to get the items that they want, and then they'll stop playing it for the most part. And I don't think that the rewards going away is going to be any incentive for these type of players. That incentive is built into the candies. I don't think that the ingredients going away is going to affect those people one way or the other. Like I said, they're going to have the time to spend in the game to grind and meet their goals for the night revels for the loot, and they're going to meet that goal and quit. But when it comes to casual players, I think casual players are the ones that are going to be hurt by this design philosophy. I think the unfortunate effect of this design decision may be that casual players who may only have 5 hours a week to spend on the event, they might say something like, they might have the attitude that, well, I don't know if I'll finish my item in time, so I just won't participate, since if I don't finish, it will be a waste of time. They'll have the attitude that, hey, I'm not even going to try in this event because all my progress is going to be taken away anyways. And granted, these players should be able to get the candies. These are the temporary rewards that go away at the end of the year. I think, and I know the developers are kind of banking on that to reward kind of the casual audience that won't have a lot of time to grind for the rewards. But I think that a lot of the players won't care, the casual players won't care about the rewards because they're going away in a few months. I think a lot of the players aren't going to really care about those rewards one way or the other because they are going away in a few months. I don't think there's going to be too many players who kind of go to the event to say, oh man, I have to get those candies. I think they're going to see it more or less as something that they'll spend extra ingredients on if they have them, but the other items are going to be, the permanent items are going to be what people really are going to want to get from this event. So I think that the attitude that, hey, I'm not going to try, my progress will be taken away, so why should I try, is really going to cause casual players not to want to participate. And again, I don't agree that the ingredients going away guards against duping in any significant fashion. And actually, this is now a new topic. When it comes to the duping for the most part has been fixed. But if it ever turns up again, I think there's going to be far more important items to worry about being duped than event ingredients from the Night Revels. Stuff like XP pots and SP pots. That's the kind of stuff I would really be worried about getting duped if I was the developers. If duping of the ingredients were to happen, I think the devs could just wipe the ingredients at that point if the duping isn't fixable. First and best option, obviously, is to fix it, to go in and find the people that duped if it's only a small portion of the player base, and just remove the ingredients from those players. But if the duping isn't fixable and we run into another unfortunate situation, which shouldn't happen, but if it does happen again, the developers could just wipe the ingredients at that point. I don't see a point in wiping them before the duping even happens. I think the developers are being too preemptive here. I just don't think it's necessary to wipe the ingredients based on, you know, some fear that duping might happen. And I understand they're also doing it because they have the idea that wiping the ingredients are going to make people come back the next year, but I just don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that's that might happen. I just don't think that design is going to be effective, because I think countering that, we're going to have just as many players who aren't going to participate in the first place because they're going to feel like it's going to be a big waste of time if they don't finish their items. So overall, I'm mixed on the design here. I think parts of this event design will keep people coming back next year, but other parts may drive players away. And in particular, I think this design is more friendly to everyday players who will finish the items for sure than casual players who may not. So I think this design philosophy ends up benefiting your everyday players, your everyday grindier players, or just players who spend more hours per week in the game than casual players who may not spend any time. Because I think a lot of portion of those casual players are going to have the attitude that I'm not going to work for something I might not finish, and another portion of those players might have the attitude that I don't care about the candies. So I think a lot of players are going to feel like there's nothing they want from this event. A lot of casual players, but that's just my opinion. I'm looking forward to seeing how this event plays out. I personally will probably participate in it because I believe I have the time in the next week or two to grind for a couple items that I think I want. So guys, please comment below. Let me know what you think about this new raid design, or not raid, but this new event design philosophy, and let me know what you think. And as always, guys, if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, and you can check me out on twitch.tv/Axel311, streaming usually 9 p.m. Eastern on Fridays. That's all for today. See you all next time.